Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Abela lo kan yo. Ka go so adu lo. Hey. Awaye. Ati o lo a. Yao. Abela lo kan yo. Níbi tó jọba yìí. Níbi tó yọba. Ma ti si mo kan yo. Manager Gigi. Ouais, que jamais forcé. Si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco, Noska, Yassin de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson told Liberian Pub Radio. We want to thank all of you again for being here. We say thank you, thank you. We're asking all of you to please share this video as much as you can. Please share it to as many people as you can. That way, a lot of people get to watch us. We don't have any other means but to ask you, the audience, to share this video as much as possible. It's a good show tonight. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful show. We want to thank all of you again for watching. Please stay tuned and continue to watch us because we are the best. We are the best. So let's go ahead. It's going to be a wonderful show. Safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening. We want to thank you for this wonderful, wonderful day. And we ask that you give us many, many, many more days because only you have the power to do so. And we will not be ashamed to come to you to ask you for more. My Lord, you're the only Father that we can come to for more of anything. And you know that you have the power to do so, to grant out those wishes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your protection. Thank you. Thank you for your forgiveness. Thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you. Because of you, we are here. Because of you, we will be here again tomorrow. Nothing is guaranteed, but you have that. And we say thank you for that power. Can you imagine if men had power over us? What would have happened? Thank you, my Lord, for wresting that type of power from men and taking the control of it. Those of us that believe in you and know your Son, Jesus Christ, as our Savior, my Lord, we're not afraid. We say thank you. Thank you. We know that whenever we need you, you are there. And we want to thank you. We want to thank you this evening again. It's a wonderful, wonderful time. And we want to thank you for making us to be here. Thank you very much. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country, the United States. And we want to ask that you bless the Republic of Liberia as well. Bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. And my God, you have the power. Thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay. For some reason, my audio is getting ready to start acting up again here tonight. But we'll deal with it very quickly. Very quickly. We're not even going to wait that long. We're not going to wait. We're just going to go straight into it and take care of it right away. Very quickly. I'm not going to wait. And here we are. Okay. I think it's good. I think it's good. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's start the show. Good evening, folks. Panelists, if you have the link, please give us a call. We want to thank all of you again for tuning in. So the show tonight is a wonderful one. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Madam Freeman, for joining us. We appreciate that very much. So let's go ahead. There's been a lot of since we were here. There's been a lot of back and forth. Yeah. We got to pray. Well, let's continue to pray for one another, because it's no shame in it. Asking God for blessing. There's no shame in it. He's the only person that have the ability to. Can you imagine if your blessing was depending on Samson too? Can you imagine your blessing depend on man? You're done. But God is just there. If we don't make me go crazy on the God business tonight, because that I'm not here to preach. But can you imagine? You get up in the morning. Who wake you up? How do you know it's time to get up? And when you get outside, even as you're going to work, oh my God, the power in this God we know. Thank you. I don't want to go too much into that. All I can say, put my hand in the air and say, Jesus, thank you for everything. Thank you. And I think all of you will agree with me that he is the God. But let's move on. So I was here yesterday. I heard some of the panel will join me here very shortly. But I was here yesterday. And there's a video, there are two videos I'm going to be playing tonight. One is about Flanty Kofa. And the reason why I'm going to replay this video is because Flanty Kofa, when he was I do that every day, sister. Whenever I come on air, I pray. Whenever that I come on air, I pray. Because and one of the things that I always do is to ask God to guide my thought, to ask God to take, as I come and face this camera, that whatever comes out of my mouth, God should divorce that from jealousy, envious, and hate. As long as I say and I know it's true between my God and myself, I got nothing to be afraid of. And that's why they said the liberal. So, but I pray every day, my sister. Thank you. But anyhow, let's go on. So the video that I'm going to play here, one of the videos that I'm going to play here tonight, is about Flanty Kofa. And some time ago, when Flanty Kofa was seeking to be Speaker of the House of Representatives, I was out here saying to many of you, many Liberians, to say, yes, indeed, Flanty Kofa is a decent man. And yes, indeed, Flanty Kofa will make sure that Liberia issue are put front and center. And I stated that here without any equivocation. I wasn't missing my word. I said Flanty Kofa was going to be someone that was going to be helpful to this incoming president. At that time, President Baka was incoming. And yes, indeed, he has done so. So I will play this video, but my audio is somehow still not quite on par. So just bear with me. Bear with me here as I try to do the best I can with that. Okay, let's see if this will work. All right. So I told you here that Flanty Kufa, the few things I said. I know Flanty Kufa because he's a friend of mine. But I also know Flanty Kufa in all of my dealing with him when it comes to politics. When it comes to politics about Liberia, he has always put Liberia first. I know that. Even in our casual conversation, Flanty Kufa have always put Liberia first. So I know that. Another thing that I know was that Flanty Kufa is not a vindictive person. Flanty Kufa is not somebody who say, "Oh, you did this to me. Wait, watch and see." He's not like that. He's not like that. He's not a vindictive person. And I also told you that Flanty Kufa, the fact that he has always put Liberia in front, that he will work with this president. Oh, people are on this platform. How you can say that? Flanty Kufa is somebody who is an opposition. He's a sedition. And so if you think that this president should not appoint, should not back somebody who from his own party, then you're wrong. I said, no. It's not. When it comes to Liberia and the best of Liberia, it has nothing to do with party where Flanty Kufa is concerned. He wants to make sure that things happen for the country. I stated that clearly over and over. I didn't miss word. And so they say, oh, but anyhow, Flanty Kufa was elected. And now, as I said, it's coming to pass. Let's listen to Flanty Kufa, folks. Let's listen to Flanty Kufa as he talk about the budget. And last thing he's going to say is, I will not play politics with Liberia. I will not play politics with Liberian people putting food on the table. This is who Flanty Kufa is. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like Flanty Kufa is not going to ask CDC from, he's a sedition. So there will come time that politics will come to play. But when it comes to daily supply for our people, Flanty Kufa is not going to stay in the way because of politics. I know that. I told you guys that over and over. And that's just the truth. Now let me play the video and then we can go back on the second one.
It comes down to other goods and services which amounted to $1.5 million discretionary. Because these things didn't have the specificity, we say, okay, we will allow you to spend that $1.5 million for other goods and services. And what you should do when you're doing the budget and sending it to us, you must itemize what you did with that $1.5 million. So when you look at all that, where is the 4G? Where is passing the budget without information? The information is there. You just don't want you just don't want to capture the information in your mind. But the budget is here. You know, I'm proud to say this is the first time London passed the budget in 4G, or there's nothing in the budget. I mean, there's no clarification, there's no information. There's plenty of information there, except you didn't want it. I mean, one senator can say he voted against it because there was no clarification. Maybe you didn't get the clarification you want. I noticed when I had my conversation with some of the senators that their Ways and Means has not briefed them as well enough as our Ways and Means. Honorable Sibo did an excellent job in explaining to the floor where all these numbers came from. So when we look at the budget document, when we look at budget performance, we have to look at it holistically and on the issues of what the line items are based on. Not on our feeling as to, you know, because the CDC opposition, so he will oppose the president budget, or he was the president, so he should support the budget. It should be whether or not this budget passes the test of time. And I'm telling you, the $41 million, it passes it. I was not prepared to roll up civil servant salaries on a political maneuvering or a political stunt. I simply can't do it. Did I want to have the budget and embarrass the government and reject it? Yeah, that's a nice thing. And everybody will be lifting me up, say he's a hero because he opposed the government. But what happens the next day when people have to get paid? What happens? So, yes, people will talk the political thing, but sitting in this chair as the third most powerful person in the country, I'm not willing to play politics with people's salaries or people's livelihoods. So that's where we are.
I'm not ready to play politics with Liberian people's livelihood. That is the Flanty Kufa that I know. This is, you know, sometimes when we sit behind these microphone and these camera and thing, when we make some pronouncement, it's not like we know all. Now, people that we talk about, they are all human beings. They can frustrate us sometimes. They are all human beings. They are not perfect. But sometimes things, when we sit behind these microphones, I am not a seditious. And I'm not one of those, I don't even want to be bothered with CDC because they like to put their foot in your mouth. I say so. But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. But when it comes to people who have interest of the Republic of Liberia, that person, I don't care whether he's a sedition, I don't care whether he's a unity party, I will support it. And Flanty Kofa and I, we go way back. We used to be at the leadership position with CDC. You see how far they left? All of them left me behind. They're all up there now. So, but that's okay. I'm okay. I thank God for the life He gave me. I thank God for the happiness He provide for me. So I'm not worried about it. But this is the point that I'm making. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into this Flanty Kofa issue here. Flanty Kofa, the way I see it, now I have not talked to him about this, but I suspect that 2029, most likely Flanty Kofa is going to put his hat in the ring. For CDC, that is. But the thing I want to say, I want sedition to understand, the CDC that Flanty Kofa is going to be heading, if President, only if President Weah is not coming back. But President Weah is a politician. A few days before election, you will say the people petition me. So you'll come back. And then if he does, Flanty Kofa is going to step aside. But if he doesn't come back, if he stays to where he is, it's Flanty Kofa for CDC. That's it. Look, nobody else. They can't bring Elizana. Elizana Kumi and CDC would not make it. They can't march. There's nothing in it for. He's not even going to do it anyhow. So the people they're looking at right now will be Flanty Kofa. Now, with that established, if you agree on my tabata that I say Flanty Kofa will be the president, I've seen the president say presidential, okay, of the Republic of Liberia. Then you will now follow my tabata and agree with me on certain things. You can disagree, that's fine. But here's another interesting point from my perspective. And that is, Flanty Kofa, now that I've established speculation establishment, who are you to say I can't speculate and I cannot establish based on my speculation? Establishing, I don't have to establish facts all the time. I can establish if it's speculation. I'm a liberal, blockoo. Hey, what you do to me? Nothing. So let me go on. But on a very serious note, Flanty Kofa on a CDC, it's not going to be the CDC of today. Sao, yeah, that are agitated. People like Jefferson Kofa, and the like of Samuel Twa, they will not be part of that CDC. The only person that might come along will be Nathaniel Miguel, maybe. But most of the other CDC you see here, South, they will not be part of that. Because Flanty Kofa on a CDC will be mostly based on ideology of truthfulness, no violence, ideology of how to move Liberia. And that CDC, Unity Party got to be very careful because that type of CDC, they are waiting. Those are the intellectual sedition. I know them. They're not going to be, God is God start with George. We are God end with George. No. They're not that kind of CDC. Flanty Kofa always allow people to express themselves. But you have to come in. If you want to have a truthful conversation, you have to put Liberia first. And that is the CDC that most likely Flanty Kofa is going to be leading. Another person that will come along with Flanty Kofa is the like of Tomofala. Tomofala, right now, most of the sedition, they are looking up to Flanty Kofa to lead. But Flanty Kofa is not going to take you to the dungeon. No. Liquor talk, they ain't got place for Flanty Kofa. Jefferson Kofi going around with the no. You speak. you speak with clarity. Yeah, come in and come through all 5, 6 adjectives together and put it down. People say South. No, it don't work like that. That is a CDC that I will see engaging the Unity Party. But here's the issue with the Unity Party as far as I'm concerned. 2029, most of the young people you see going around, Unity, we pray that they don't put themselves into corrupt behavior. It's just a matter of time. Within the next 6 to 7 months to a year, if these sedition young Unity Party members that are in these offices, if you don't see them and be connected to corrupt behavior, then we're fine. Okay, so that is the Flanty Kofa that I think will come by the CDC. Now let's go a little bit further than that. I tell you, I got another video. That will be the Bean Show. This one's a sidebar. This is just a sidebar. This is just a sidebar. Now, let's go on. Flanty. Yes. I love it. Mr. Toe. I love this guy. You see, I'm the best on LPR. I'm the best. They like Edmond George. What's the other name? Alfonso So. What's the other one? What's his name? Male June. They can't make it with me when it comes to politics and political discussion. Listen to what the guys. Listen what Mr. Toe. You are a political guru in analysis of Liberian politics. Oh, I wish I can shake your hand right now. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm the best. Oh, folks, when I do these things, I really enjoy myself. But I told you guys before. But let me just tell you some more. Let's go a little bit deeper. The old man having a real good time. Thank God. You know, where else that I will go and make us absolute fool out of myself? Only to my brothers and sisters in Liberia. To many of you, I'm not embarrassed to come here and make a complete fool out of myself. That's okay. That's conversation. I know we love each other, so you know. But anyhow, let's go on a little bit more. Let's take it serious a little bit. So, Flanty Kofa now, with me establishing based on speculation, by the way. So I've already established that. So if what I'm saying, if it holds water, then Flanty Kofa and President Bakai, they're going to have a unique relationship. They want, let me speak in a real Liberian English. You scratch my bike, I scratch your bike. So Flanty Kofa will not object to many of President Bakai's developmental agenda. And he will not allow CDC to politicize President Bakai's developmental agenda. Why? I've already established that Flanty Kofa most likely, if I really take the most likely because I already established based on speculation, so I can't go most likely anymore. You see what I'm saying? I put my own foot in my own mouth again. But that's okay. I can take it out. I can take it out. No big deal. Unlike CDC, when they put their foot in their mouth, I have to help them to take it out. But when I put my own foot in my mouth, I can take it out. They told me having fun. No, but let's go a little bit. Let's go a little bit further. So Flanty Kofa, on a very serious note, I suspect that Flanty Kofa and President Bakai, they're going to work hand in hand to make sure the developmental agenda that are good for the country will go through. And he just demonstrated that by telling you he would not play politics with civil service salary. He said, I can hold the government up, and people hope sedition will hold me up as a hero because I tried to block the government project, you know. But he said, I'm not going to play politics with Liberian people livelihood. That is the person who is seeking the higher office in 2029. There's no joke about it. So President Bakai most likely as well not going to see second term. I'm establishing based on speculation. I'm allowed. I'm allowed. I'm entitled to my own view. I'm not entitled to facts, but I'm entitled to my view. I'm entitled to my opinion, but I'm not entitled to facts. So please, let's put the facts aside. Let me take my speculation and run with it. Samson to Liberian Public Radio. So anyhow, please share the video. Say the Liberian is on fire tonight, folks. Share the video and tell us that the Liberian is on fire. If you want to listen to political analysis from the Liberian, tune in to this show tonight. You will truly enjoy yourself. I hope Mr. Soul doesn't show face here to try to disturb my show, because when I'm on the road like this, that's when he shows up and then immediately try to hijack my show. But let me go on. So President Bakai, who is also a smart politician and the most experienced, much more experienced in politics than Flanty Kofa is. So he looked at Flanty Kofa and said, okay, Mr. Speaker, I didn't want you to be Speaker, but you're starting like that, you're starting a good foot. So President Bakai now going to gravitate. You already got the Senate. Senator Dillon is there. The pro tem is there. So not much resistance in the Senate. It's the House. And the fact that what he will not do is to go into the House of Representatives and try to tell them what to do. You see, Flanty Kofa is there. Now, this is another interesting thing that I'm getting ready to tell you. President Bakai knows that Liberia is just like any other political arena. So President Bakai, from time to time, will throw in some boom that don't mean anything to him, not to the developmental agenda of the Liberian people that he has in mind. Just something he will throw in. And Flanty Kofa will say, no, take that thing out of here. And Sedition will say, look at Flanty Kofa, we love you. Well, because President Bakai continued to throw things that Flanty Kofa will start working with him. Say, yes, yes. Then Flanty Kofa, in the eyes of Sedition, they will blame him as undercover Unity Party member. You know what we do. You know that. So from time to time, President Bakai will find some sort of some policy that he knows very well. He has no interest in it. Mind you, it's not like something that he has thought too hard about to benefit Liberia. I'll give you an example. So he said, okay, the fishery, I want to put a bridge. I want to put a bridge that will span from West Point to New Crew Town. I want a budget for that. I want that to be budget. I want it to be budgeted. And then Flanty Kofa said, we don't even have the money. Well, that's what I want. Flanty Kofa said, rejected. And the House of Representatives is going to vote it down. And it goes on record as being some of the policy of President Bakai that Flanty Kofa have rejected. But think about it in real life. You think President Bakai will look at small money Liberian people get and say you want to spend from West Point all the way to New Crew Town? Where the money coming from? Those are the kinds of stuff that I'm talking about. But in terms of agriculture, road infrastructure, building infrastructure, those things that will benefit Liberians, the commerce, things that will bring money in the country for Liberians to survive, he will throw it, Flanty Kofa will support it. He just did it. He just did it. So the relationship from my perspective, and you can, I want people to disagree with me, okay? Okay? I want people to disagree with me. The relationship between Flanty Kofa, who is a Speaker of the House of Representatives, and President Bakai is going to be unique. And another thing people don't know much, when Flanty Kofa left the United States to go stay in Liberia, he got very close to former President Salif. And in fact, he was one of the prosecutors to prosecute the some kind of mining that have to do with King Kong, corruption, King Kong. So the two, they don't hold much, okay? But besides that, so Flanty Kofa has a clear understanding of how to play politics when it comes to Liberia Liberia first, but for his own political career, he knows exactly how to manage himself. And so watch for the story that I just laid out to you here. You will find out that once the budget basically becomes serious and President Baka start putting in things into the budget. And Flanty Kufa is very smart. He's also going to look at budget that are going to be coming from the administration. Because most likely, and they just did it here recently. Somewhere I was reading about an appointment where some director at the executive marshal or something decided to switch the name of appointment to put her own name of people, those kinds of stuff. So Flanty Kufa is very aware that most likely when these budgets are being put together, there will be some people that will slip things that without the president even being involved, being knowledgeable about stuff like that. So Flanty Kufa and his people, and you saw, I missed this one. I got to point this one out. In the video that I just showed you, Flanty Kufa praised another sedition, Sibo, Dixon Sibo, who is, I believe, is a Ways and Means chairman, to say the Ways and Means chairman explained to us effectively and told us what is it that we needed to know. He said, unlike the Senate, Dixon Sibo explained that. So the budget, when it goes to when the budget goes to, why are you in the background? You usually come here and just back my show. Here we go. I knew it was gonna happen. I'm not surprised. I announced it already. I say I better hurry up and talk my tabata because as soon as I'm on the road, the man will come and hijack my show. Hey, he coming sneaking in the background. Let's say I can't see him. I knew you were going to do that. So I'm done with my tabata anyway. So let me.
No,
I will let you take. You always hijacking my show.
No. You quite on point. I'm not as dishonest as you are. You are quite on point.
Whatever,
Your conversation is in
you start
place.
calling me names already. Yeah, you on my show as a guest. You're gonna start calling me names. But let's go ahead. But anyway, so Dixon Sibo, whom Flanty Kufa had praised. So when the budget comes to the House of Representatives, the like of Dixon Sibo will go through the budget with fine comb to make sure, because if they start finding a ghost name and stuff, they will point it out. Those are the area that Flanty Kufa going to make name to say, honor his leadership. The ghost name will be brought to light. These are the area where Flanty Kufa and the CDC will back the administration. And many of the ghost name, President Baka might not even might, but he doesn't know about it. So Flanty Kufa and his people will use that opportunity to make sure that Liberian people get the best of everything else. Mr. So, good evening. Thank you. I have another video here, which is what that was in LPR chat room. I took it from there. But we'll discuss it. Good evening. How you doing?
Great. Look, like I said, I'm not as dishonest as you are. Great analysis with respect to Flanty Kufa. I am not a strong fan.
Don't just call it great analysis. Said the liberal, you are a political guru. Let me read that. Again.
Look, I don't know where Rogers is coming from, and he tries to.
Don't forget about where he's coming from. He said, Mr. Toll, you are a political guru in analysis of Liberian politics. I salute legend liberal, especially when narrating the up and rising of 1979 rise. Oh, that guy, he know everything about me. So, Mr. So, give the liberals some credit, will you?
Well, it's not a matter of credit. This is who you are, and I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. And this is why when you on your program, you look all around to see who is singing praises to you, who is cheering you up, perhaps. And they enjoy doing that. Maybe he's like a liberal like yourself. So obviously, it's not a strange thing to do what he's doing, which is okay. And we respect all views and opinion on this network. But with respect to the analysis of Flanty Kufa, I think that is quite in place. I remember during the speakership contest, and that sort of document came. I didn't even tell you because you were a very close friend. So everything was done in your back, because if I've told you anything, I knew you were going to come in with, oh, don't do this, and this is you protect your own alligator. But I reached out before we came up with that story, and his language, his tone, I sensed out very smart, great politicians. I knew there is a bigger thing. He said, look, I know what I'm looking for. You know, when politicians want to speak they speak in specific tone. It takes you a time. It takes a time to decode their language, what they want to do. But I most likely, and you remember, you know the story much deeper. George, the former President George, we are considered fanatical for like a father. Everything about he seeks high consultation with fanatical for provided a lot of good services. No question about that. We know that. We all heard in the dying days of this whole thing here, fanatical fire was one of those that were providing counsel. So if and only if that you are correct, if and only if Fanatic Kofa, if former President decides not to seek re-election 2029, and like you said, politicians, they can change the table, they can flip the coins anytime. Fanatic Kofa will be best suited to be the face of CDC. And so he knows where he's coming from, the party he has aligned himself with. And this is why he did everything to seal up this deal to become the speaker. Now you see you have him as a speaker, Fala as a deputy speaker. So they know where they are going to be taking this party from. And if CDC is to be more relevant, to be more competitive, which of course they will still be because of they have a good representation. I think Kofa will provide a good leadership, and that's exactly what he's doing now. He's not going to be like where he said the McCarthy type to be the obstruction, where he finds it to be very critical, and that's why he's asking the president. We're not just going to be passing stuff now. He's a lawyer. I mean, it's well grounded. He knows the history. He's well informed. So he knows he got to position himself best, not to be an obstruction, to be obstructionist to the work of the government library, but to also set a good standard that tomorrow when he decides to get in the race, history will reflect on him to say, hey, this guy, when he was speaker, this XYZ. And I agree with you. If Fanatic Kofa decides to run, he going to perform a surgical operations on the Congress for Democratic Change, which sedition, some people are not going to be happy, but he's going to open the party up. A party that will have a specific ideology that are going to be running on. He's going to rebrand that party. He's going to put a lot of things in place. He's not going to kick people away, but he's going to give the party most likely a new face for people to have a second thought and take a look of the CDC of yesterday and that of the CDC in the fanatical war. That's most likely what he's doing, and that's what he's going to be doing now. You're going to see he's going to be working with people because he will want to solidify his political grip, not just only here, but in the long run. So under his speakership, he will do everything possibly he can. He will make sure that his party, the CDC that he represents, is viable, is relevant, hold the government accountable, and that's what they should be doing. So he's not going to be one of those that are going to sanction people that even disagree with him. You see how he's conducting himself when it comes to the talking here, Koluba, and all of that. He's going to be very peaceful and allow the process to play out, simply because he has an agenda, and that's what he's forecasting right now to make sure he has a smooth ride in order to stand a grip. And that's exactly what Fanatic Kofa is doing right now.
Thank you. The Liberal is always
so
good.
It doesn't mean, and like I said, I am an honest guy. I'm not like you who looks at the real thing and still you turn the we over and all of that. And so I don't know what our fanatical fire pay you to be doing the public relation here. Then we will have to bill you. You're not talking on some of the things of the guy you support, things that are happening now. They're not explaining.
We're getting to it. Prince Sherry just wrote something here. Prince Sherry, you want me to talk about something? Call into the show and tell me and bring your idea, and we'll listen to you. And
Why you always pick up people when they're making their comments?
I'm just making the comment, man. I'm just making that. But let that's besides the point, Mr. So. You brought out an interesting name, and I want to connect that. Just now, watch how insightful I am when it comes to Liberian politics. How intellectual level that I put myself when it comes to Liberian politics. You brought in a specific name, Yeke Koluba. Now, Yeke Koluba is not going to be held by the like of Flanty Kofa as oh yeah, go. But here's what happening. Yeke Koluba, the fact that he will be against the president, thing like that. Flanty Kofa going
to against the president?
Of course, he's not against the president.
Does he have an argument or not?
No, he's got a good point. But this is the point that I'm making now. Yeke Koluba not only holding President Baka's feet to the fire, he holding President Baka's whole body to the fire. And there's at that particular when it happening, the like of Flanty Kofa, who will now seek the 2029, will look at those places. Because whenever what's his name? Yeke Koluba hold President Baka body to the fire, people around President Baka will want to speak. And eventually, one of them, somebody will make mistake and say something that perhaps is in the background. And then people, the like of Flanty Kofa, will pick those things. Those people are smart. But let's move on. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Let's move on. I have another video here. The conversation between Alan White and President Baka. The first thing I want to say here, 5 days ago, Prince Johnson had a meeting with President Baka. And according to Prince Johnson, the meeting went well. Not much specific conversation or information about the conversation came out. And I say here on this platform that I believe President Baka and even Jeremiah Kong will not tell Prince Johnson of any important decision that will be affecting the country. Prince Johnson will not be in the know. I don't believe that. Now, I want to look at it from a little bit different perspective. I said that statement, and the reason why I'm bringing it up because I don't want people to go back tomorrow and look at my video and say, I ain't said it, but I'm a blaku. I evolve. I'm not static. So, but let me just throw this in here quickly before I play the video, Mr. So. I also believe that at that meeting, most likely, President Baka did not hide it from Prince Johnson. Most likely told Prince Johnson that these things have to be resolved. And most likely the conversation goes something like this. Speculation, by the way. Prince, if I didn't believe you as a politician, I won't come to you. Let's have this situation resolved. Let's have the war crime code, whatever it is. Let's have that conversation. Like, let Liberian people decide, whoever was responsible, like you or anybody, let Liberian people decide your fate. But we can't run the government or run anything in this country and having this thing hanging over our head. Let's have the conversation. Let's have the Liberian people come up with this thing. And you know it's been too long. Most people will look at you and even try to forgive you if you are found to be more responsible than anything.
Were you in a meeting? Are those
Mr. So,
minds?
Mr. So, I said speculation. Please don't ask me like I'm on a witness stand. I said speculation. I'm entitled to it. So with those, that's what I believe. The two things, either that happened or they didn't tell Prince Johnson. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because up to this point, if Prince Johnson had been with somebody who was not satisfied with a conversation, he would have blab it up already. And another thing, if Prince Johnson was aware and not satisfied, he would have blab it up already. And the fact that he has not done so, and this meeting happened, I want to take the second look at my own statement, Mr. So. And without any ado now, let me play the video, please. Or you have something you want to say before I play the video?
No, I mean, you carry on with your tap. Play your
You
video.
are my guest.
No, I'm not a guest.
You're my guest.
No.
I can park you in the garage right now if I want. You're my
Well,
guest.
the name garage is used to yours, so it's not a strange.
I didn't say garage. I said I can park you on the sidewalk. I didn't say garage. Please,
So,
you see that one thing about you. Somebody made a mistake, you read it. I said park you on the sidewalk. I didn't say garage.
I thought you said I heard you saying garage.
That liquor talk. But people like me, we don't
So
talk
who were
about
once
garage business.
once upon a time parking the garage? By the way,
Mr. So, can we have the show? I said that liquor talk. Let's forget it. Let's move on.
okay.
On this journey together for a long, long time. And I wanted to thank you for the phone call. And I just wanted to ask you again, why did you want me to come over here when you?
Well, you've been a good friend of Liberia, and I don't see it just as a duty. I see it as a concern for a country that you have interest in, and you pursue that, and we believe your concerns are genuine, and so we've opened the door for us to work together. That's why we call you.
Well, Mr. President, I can't tell you how many people worldwide, when they read your speech and you talked about having an office of the War Crimes and Economic Crime Court to facilitate the creation of this tribunal, international tribunal here in Liberia to bring the justice to the people. I heard it from the U.S. My phone blew up, as you can imagine. People said I could not believe, and they were so ecstatic and elated. And since I've been here, I've heard the same thing. So I wanted to thank you again and give you full assurances that we will do everything we can to help you bring justice for the victims of those 250,000 people that were killed during the two civil wars that happened.
Well, Alan, in every country, and especially a country that boasts of independence, 176 years, and you know very well that it is because of the impunity, the disrespect and disregard for justice that have created all the upheavals in this country. And we believe we have to lay this to rest. Let all the facts be known. Let people who think that they are innocent prove their case, so that we can lay this to rest, so that this country can move forward. It's not a wish hunt. It's a matter of testifying to what you know and what you've done, so that forgiveness can be done on the basis of knowledge and truth. And that's what we're talking about.
Well, Mr. President, you have our full commitment to help realize that. And what we did in Sierra Leone, we were able to move the people on to the reconciliation phase. Because you're right, when people are walking around and they see impunity and they see people that have never been held to account and self-enrich themselves, it basically rubs it in the face regularly. So the fact that you are stepping up, taking this leadership role, I can tell you so far, the people of Liberia are ecstatic about it, and we're here to help you facilitate this properly, independently, and let the prosecutor follow the evidence where it goes. Not me, not you, wherever the evidence follows, and have it done under international standards, and it'll be done properly, and it'll be done transparently.
I think most of the people that have been involved know that if they were on the other side, they would like the truth to be told about it. So the truth is truth for each and every one that have been either offended. And so we should be happy that this will finally close the chapter of that history that has been haunting us over the years. And that's what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, I personally want to thank you for your courage to do this, because it was not easy. But you started it, and we'll help you bring justice to Liberia once and for all.
Thank you, Alan, for sticking with it Thanks for all those who've been committed to it. We believe this is going to restore peace and people are going to move. Even those who probably may have been offended and those who are responsible for whatever, they will know that justice was done and their minds will be cleared. And thank you for your role.
Thank you. And thank you for your time.
Thank
And God
you.
bless you. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Mr.
Thanks,
President.
Alan.
Thank you.
Wow, Mr. So, this is seriously deep, and I will take it serious for a minute. I think if this is really true,
It is not an AI.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
not.
I,
It
I
was
agree.
leaked. It was leaked from inside. When you see, and I will carry on your point, so you can
Yeah.
say,
So what I was going to say, I think this is not going to have Prince Johnson by surprise. I think Prince Johnson has been involved, has been having conversation with President Baka. You heard what President Baka said. That those who consider themselves to be innocent, they will have the opportunity to show to the rest of the citizenry that they are innocent. It is not a witch hunt, he said. I think this is deeper, Mr. So. And I believe truly that this also, no matter how it turned out, will be of huge relief on Prince Johnson. Because I do not think that the Liberians or Liberia of today will say, yes, Prince Johnson belonged in the Hague. I don't think so. I think if this thing do come to fruition, I think Alan White going to be told by Liberian that they want restoration of justice, no punishment, that the people must account for their deeds by being truthful, and that the people want them to be restored. I think this is deeper. This is going to be one of the bigger legacy of President Bakai. I think so. And I think the like of the Dabo, our ma, our Oma will all be hauled in front of those people to explain themselves. There's no, you can't say you're away from a book. It's not happening. People need to start preparing themselves to be contrite, to be truthful, and think about the Liberian people. I think this is going to be huge. It's going to be huge, Mr. So.
yeah, I don't think. I mean, this it was a hallmark of non-president boycott. And when you see such a leak like this in the media world, of such a sort of uh, is meant to release the unsanctioned information that people find it difficult to get out there. Look, we don't know specifically when the real action going to unfold, but I think we are reaching the Waterloo of this whole thing, and I don't think Prince Johnson is his surprise. There are some people within the inner orbit of the boycott folks. They don't even trust Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson has never been the trusted president, and that was there where the breakup came from with he and the president, because he wanted to meet the president, want to have a one-on-one exclusive, and Sedition, the strong supporter of the president, said, "No, you do not have a good history meeting with president. We know what you did and all of that," and he got upset. He was pissed. So those same tactics. Somehow to some extent wanted to deploy them, but people around boycott, the Unity Party people, they are another group of people too who are something. And the Ome, look, I believe somehow commitments being made up there with the international community with respect to, but this is something that he committed himself of doing. It was one of the pillars, it was one of the things that he was running on his campaign. We don't know how the process is going to be, what type of method, why it is. Not necessarily only Prince Johnson. There are other people might be held accountable, and I think people must be held accountable. We saw how it went out in Sierra Leone. Unlike for us in Liberia, we decided to downplay it, and we rewarded these same very people who wage mayhems onto the people. We awarded them with state power. They have the authorities, and obviously they cannot prosecute themselves. They become lawmakers, they become policy maker, they become decision maker, they become opinion leaders in our country. So we can. That wasn't the case with the Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leoneans, from onset get go, they went and just hit the nail on the head. Say, hey, there are certain people in as much they are Sierra Leonean, but we cannot reward them of their bad behaviors. Now we're gonna wait and see what happens. Jeremiah Kuhn, on the other hand, will not sacrifice his own political career for that of Senator Prince Johnson. Is what Joseph Boyka, President Boyka, what does he have to lose? He's going to go for one term. And what politicians want in their career is to have what they call this legacy, something that will be memorable in their life, even when they are gone, for people to remember them. And that will be the only thing Joseph Boyka, can do for himself that will erase every other thing potential that is being seen bad or being a little differently interpreted by other people. He will see this, and so for them to push this here is another way of bringing relief. Remember the presidential press secretary. There are people that have been talking this in a specific way, in the bit and pieces. There was a press conference that was held, Kula Fofana. I said that at the Ministry of Information, but they have been putting this out in a piecemeal type. And now we're seeing this coming. Is okay, let's get it out there and see the reaction. Obviously, there will be a diverse conversation. There will be people who will agree with it, people will not agree. People will say, well, they should have done it. But hey, justice is justice. We're seeing people still being prosecuted or some of the wrong things back way before even the 21st century. So what we're seeing happening back now, you know, Alan Brown, a gospel artist, is saying there is time for everything. It seems to me. It seems to me at this point in time, uh, I wouldn't be surprised when Prince Johnson go lose like a wild geese, because this is not what he anticipated. Everybody needs protections. He felt that he was running away from alligators, who he think George we are cool being the alligator. But now a little boat is turning the wheel order, because Ambassador Boyka and the Unity Party people, I cannot trust this guy, because the road is
Yes,
already rocky. So we're gonna wait and see how it plays out.
yeah, this is it depends on Sunday what Prince Johnson will say at his church, but this is what I suspect, and I could be wrong, but I think Prince Johnson was informed, and most likely when he went to meet with the president, there was a
They don't need
conversation.
to. The president, they don't need Prince Johnson consent.
No,
This
no,
is what
no, no, that's not what I'm saying.
you always like to kind of like
Mr. So you
post.
made your point. You think I wasn't
Why
there
were
to
you
agree
come
with
from
you?
where
But I
Prince
let you
Johnson
make my
was informed?
let me make my point, please. You are a visitor on my show. I don't need to
Oh,
fight
a
you.
new name,
I
a
mean,
new name for me, visitor.
you have many people don't even know you exist, and we haven't seen you for over 4 or more months now. So you're a visitor. But
Wow.
let me make my point. No, on a very serious note, Mr. So, I think your points are quite taking, but I don't think this thing will be done in in secrecy, because there are so many people involved. The security apparatus most likely was brought on board with discussion before even having a public meeting, or even having a meeting with Alan White and allowed to be videotaped, which most likely they wanted it to be on record. Number one. The second thing is Prince Johnson. You know, there's a bike on the text it. They say God time is the best. I think God has, if this is going to happen, then God has agreed for it to happen. That I will be a little bit philosophical about that. Now, Mr. Soul, I think Prince Johnson, if he has a good advisors, the best thing they can do, if he was not informed, the best thing they can do is for them to have him to put his foot, a good foot in front. I've always stated this here, and this is what many Liberians will come to understand.
What do you mean by
There
put
were
his foot
people
in?
that did some horrible, horrible things during the war, and Prince Johnson could be one of those. But what most people will look at, Prince Johnson did not get up one money in a barracks when he was serving to say today is a good day for war. Things happen from time to time. Things happen, which brought all of these war laws into a certain position. Let's look at Dr. Bullet, an educator. Why would he find himself leading a group of rebels? For him, if you talk to, and I think we did here, and he told you his job was to protect his people.
So let me tell you, because
Let me
no,
finish my point.
you are about to start being
May I
ridiculous again.
finish my point, please? When you talk, I don't say anything. Just let me finish my point. Hold your peace. Now, I'm also testing your patience level this time around. So let me finish. So all of these people, they have their action. I don't agree with it. But what brought them to this point? This is what Liberian will get to understand. What happened? How did you get here? How did you, Prince Johnson, from the barracks and they say you did that? What happened? Those are conversations that I think all of us, Liberian, must be prepared to have that, because there will be some truthful allegation that comes against people. I'll give you an example, Mr. So. Just before the election, they have this Farmington gathering or whatever they call it. Immediately after that, President Weah, according to the story, attacked Goodrich, of saying Goodrich was responsible for his car and his family being attacked. That's almost 40 years of 30 some more years. And President Weah is still feeling that. Many of us are still feeling that. So that's conversation, the conversation that's going to be happening among us is going to be hard and it's going to be heavy. And we must be prepared to make sure we face the truth. Some of us that were here collecting money for the war to say, okay, we're going to send food to our people so they don't starve. What happened? When the money got there, was it used for food or was it used for something? So all of us going to have to be truthful and face the truth and face the music. That's the only way we'll be able to heal ourselves. We don't expect a white man to come and heal us. So if you're counting on Alan White for your healing, you're fooling yourself. You, as a Liberian, must be truthful and explain to your brothers and sisters what happened.
I find it very difficult with your presentations, your arguments.
Mr. So, I'm a liberal. I don't expect you to understand my liberal feelings on these things.
So, I don't know. So, what are you saying?
I'm saying that the conversation that will be coming will be heavy, and we must.
Do you want it
ready.
to come or not? Do you want it to come or not? Do you want it to come?
Of course. Of course. But what I don't expect and what I hope will not turn out of this is for punishment to come out of this.
Will you?
I will be very truthful with you.
So you don't want so you want it to come, but you don't want people to be held accountable, responsible.
I want them to be held accountable.
So what is punishment in your own definition? What is the punishment in your own definition?
What I expect the people who will be charged with full-handedly responsible for certain things, that those people must.
Example of what?
People who are responsible, let's just say fully responsible, telling kids to go do that, giving kids drugs, or they themselves going around killing people and what have you. And those things can be proven. My thing is, those people, if they come out and sincerely apologize to the Liberian people and be contrite about their behavior, okay, then those people must be forgiven and let's move on. But if anybody comes to that process, hold on now, Mr. Soul. If anybody comes onto that process and decided to be defiant, then you want the Liberian people not to forgive you. Then the punishment that is due you will be measured out to you. That's my point.
Yeah, the woman here, I don't know. You know,
It's-
this is the and I quite agree with you when you say and you've been saying you are unstable, you're unbalanced,
whatever,
you're
whatever.
involved, whatever the conversation goes, that way you flip. That's exactly what you're doing. You want to be in 2 places or 5 places at the same time. You want to play nice. You want to talk about it. You don't want this person to feedback. You don't want this person to do that. What the heck are you talking about here? Your people should
Some guy
come and they
want you to
apologize.
ask me a question.
People, what?
Somebody want you to ask me a question. Can you read that?
I don't know which question you're referring to.
I want you to ask him.
So, yeah, but put it when you put your number, the caller can say it.
Okay. I was going to be putting the number. Caller, be ready. You can ask a question. It will be nice for all of us to have a serious discussion.
No, I know it's a volatile, very volatile, convoluted conversation here. But look,
I like Esther Christ said, Ruth, he hurting my head.
Who's that?
Now Esther Frederick,
Yeah.
Ruth, he's hurting my head tonight.
Oh, yes, trust me, this guy, he the one. He made me. I had a migraine for almost like 2 days. Look, I mean, it is why it is. I mean, what you sow is what you reap. The issue of people, they were. We can be here to adjudicate people here to say, oh, this is. I mean, it's a process. It is a process. They're gonna go in. They're gonna go. They can cut deals. It's up to them. But for you to come here, oh, we don't want them. Just say sorry. They're just sorry. They're just sorry. Is that what you're talking about? They say sorry, then that's auto it.
No.
These people we screwed up from the beginning, and this is why get us to be where we are. The Helen Johnson
I don't
telling
accept that. I don't accept that language. I don't accept it.
you don't have to accept it. I'm just telling you. I said
Okay.
we screw up from the beginning. Screw up in the sense that these things should have been addressed. The purpose, and that's where some of us have different understanding or different views with the truth and reconciliation, because the whole thing was politicized. For them to have even called people and just say, "Oh, we want to get you to hear people's story." My goodness, who brought that? Who put that thing in their head? You just want to hear it and you go. This is what Prince Johnson has been arguing on. Or they said they were just calling off for us to tell the story. You tell me, you come and slaughter. I was within the Freeport yard. You know the story. After September 9, I remember very, very well, vividly. These are a story that sometimes it brings back old bad feelings. I was, after I left Ghana place, I moved to, because Morovia was like the surrounding, everything was on an MPFL, IMPFL on the other side. The only enclave that people, depending your ethnic group or where you find yourself, I was within Basso community. That very afternoon, I believe Tuesday afternoon, going across the road, going to how you call it, the National Police Headquarters. The Dix family, the girls somewhere right there. They used to have one to restaurant somewhere there, GB. I think you ate on there before because you left swallowing business. Going to that place that afternoon when the convoy rolls down from the executive mansion that were going, nobody knew what was happening. At the end of the day, what happened, we saw what happened. And people, when we all went to that port, we were at that port here. We saw the nightmare. We saw how horrible both sides, all sides, committed bad things. But we delay. I don't know whether it was out of ignorance or what we just thought of, but here we are now today is still alive. That's how history record things. You do it, you think after 5-10 years, you think it's not going to come. It's going to come into place because these things were documented. People record these things. Those videos are there, and people are still hurt. And the worst thing for us as a people, as a nation to do, to have rewarded these same very people who did the horrible thing and allow them to give them state power to allow them to be our Antonines, we allow them to be decisions and policy maker, and we think we're going to see justice. Now here we are talking about it. So nobody going to say they are guilty now. They're going to let them go through the process,
So,
including
Mr.
me,
So,
including you. If you participate, people should be, even Liberian. I think this is where Liberia needs to be brave. People should be able, if there's a court, to go and testify, to say, that's the interesting part I'm looking at, to see who going to go to who going to show out to say, I'm going to do this, to testify. I think that's the interesting part.
Mr. So, this thing is deeper. And this is what I'm saying, that if Liberians get themselves involved, they must allow themselves to dig deep inside.
It's not on the Prince Johnson alone. So I don't know why people just, it's not on the Prince Johnson alone.
That's the point. Now, another question, they must allow themselves to be truthful. Where were you? Those kinds of questions must be asked, number one. The second thing is, where do you start? Do you go to Southtown War? Or do you talk about 1980 coup? Do you talk about the 13 people that was killed on the pole? Where do you start?
It's almost like we're talking about this order we're talking about now. People want to draw extreme line to say only George Weah. When you say you want to order only George Weah government, then that's just being dishonest and disingenuous. So that's what we're waiting to see.
That would be the fundamental question for Alan White and the rest of the group. Where do you want to start? If you say, okay, we're going to start from the war, okay, that's fine. What happened? What brought about the war? Are you prepared to listen? Are you prepared to say the war brought about certain group dominating another group? Are you prepared to have that kind of discussion? Mr. Saul, this is not something, if we're not careful, we Liberian, if we're not careful, we'll be throwing the eggs in our own faces. There's no question to ask. So the way I see this, the way I see it from my perspective, this thing must not be done just in Monrovia. You have to take this committee from village to village, because there is not one single village in Liberia that was untouched by this war. Okay? So you can't just say, I'm going to only have that conversation in Monrovia. You have to go to village from village to village, so that the old people themselves will explain to you how some of their own relatives were also hurting their own relatives in the town. Mr. So this is deeper than just Monrovia and Prince Johnson business. After this thing is done, when it's done correctly, Liberians will come together and be unified, truthfully unified. Let me welcome Terry. Terry, thank you for joining us. Terry, can you hear me? No, you don't have nothing yet.
No, I mean, I agree, Terry. Terry, you need to unmute yourself. I agree. Yeah, we have one of the chief financiers
Terry,
of the
you got to unmute yourself.
You got to unmute yourself. It's a very hard thing, and this is what we want to see. One of the principal or chief financiers of the civil crisis, guess what? Became the president and was awarded with what? A high honor. High honor.
Even the Alan White, if they're not careful, when they put this thing, they will be putting United
and became a Nobel Prize winner. So it's I don't know.
They will be putting the United States on trial in Liberia. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Charles Taylor, according to a story, broke jail right behind you there, Massachusetts. Is that true? You think Liberian just going to say, that's what I'm saying. If people who are advising Prince Johnson to tell Prince Johnson, don't turn this into a political game. Put your best foot in front. We know, everyone knows what you did. It's not any kinds of secret. Most of your behavior was being videotaped. So people know. But at the same time, let us use this opportunity. The former ambassador told us the last time that most Liberian political issue, in terms of conflict, usually start with the Liberian diaspora in the United States. he made that statement. What reason does he have? Bring those documents. Mr. So this is not going to be an easy stuff. It's going to be very interesting, by the way. Terry, thank you for joining us. What's on your plate?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. So. Good to see you and Libra. Yeah, there are a lot on my plate, and I know you guys have been talking and chatting about their. I don't know if it's a leak tape, but I hear people saying it's leak, so that means it's not in the public, right? That video you just played.
No, it doesn't mean that. Leak in that, usually when these sort of things, when you see these kind of things happen, it's done on purpose.
Right.
You just throw it out there to leak in the sense that it's not an official thing to say this is what the government.
Right.
It's not something that is being released by the Ministry of Information or Presidential Press Secretary. That we don't know yet. But when you see those sort of conversation, presidential, because more or less those are presidential or high classified conversation taking place there. So who in the world that really tap that line to get those sort of things here? So it's from in the inner orbit. It's from in the orbit. So I mean,
Right.
just put it out there.
But yeah, so every president that God have selected or elected or chosen to become president of Liberia had a responsibility. Like I said one time that if Ambassador Boyka, only responsibility would be for 6 years to present the Liberian people the War and Economic Crime Code. That would be his legacy. So, we even though we all expecting for him to turn Liberia into a golden state, which I doubt will happen, but every president have a responsibility. Even President Weah, there are some legacies that President Weah set that no other president will be able to take from him. Like take for example, before President Weah left, that place that he built under the PHP, the place that don't kill those people, or the 13 men that was on the pole, that legacy President we are set for himself will forever live on, because he brought a new dimension, a newness. He gave people a new perspective of that particular ground. So every president, even though they will be corrupt, they will do this, they will do that, but God put them in that leadership for a specific reason. Even President Doe, the late President Doe, there were some things President Doe did that no other president up to now have been able to overweight him, regardless some of the things he did that were not right, which is a good thing. But my attention tonight having to draw to the era where I saw the Yeke Koluba and I know Dixie Sibo, was talking about trying to impeach the president and protest on they're trying to follow this guy now. What's his name? Akaras Gray, that's saying that he want to protest on the 6th of April, knowing very well that April 6th was a historical day in our politics, wherein Charles Taylor took over. That was when butt naked was known to be butt naked. And at that time, I was in Liberia. I left Liberia after coming to the closure of April 6th war, that when we went to Ivory Coast and stopped in Danane and took residence there. That's how I got to know Joseph Boyka people.
I was in Cinco almost less than 3 kilometers when they tried to effect the arrest of Roosevelt Johnson. Erupted how they call stop there.
I think that one I was September 18. I think that was September 18. That one too.
Yeah.
It was
Yes. April says okay. Yeah, April says he had moved to Ken Johnson Road. Yeah.
Yeah, April 6th was when Charles Taylor then said they were going to move on the army barracks and overtake the barracks, and that was how and they were going to slaughter people. That was how Charles Taylor joined with LPC, right? LPC. Charles Taylor joined with LPC. And they
Charles Taylor, they can never join. They would never join with LPC.
No, they joined. That LPC, I think that LPC,
probably with Kroma.
No, yeah, more or less, so
LPC
it won't be.
Is Ulimo. LPC is Ulimo.
LPC, that was
George
Bulley.
Ulimo K. But yeah,
Okay.
there was
Can
two
you hear me?
forces during April 6th
I'm hearing you. You getting me?
Okay,
that
yeah, hold
joined
on, we'll
forces
come to you.
to fight and overtake the barracks. They wanted to capture the barracks. I think if they wanted to get rid of somebody or so. And that was how Butt Naked became Butt Naked, and he became popular. And at that time, also we saw, okay, they tried to override this guy to Prince Johnson. That was how Prince Johnson escaped from the base. It was during April 6th, Prince Johnson ran away from Conway. That was how he passed and went, and how he fell in the Ecomo territory, and how Ecomo took him from Liberia. So that was a very deadly war, and that was how there was a joint forces. I can still remember that joined with the Charles Taylor rebel group, and they were coming in and doing a lot of things. But it was a very, very nasty war, and what took us out of here. But what I'm trying to say is that that war brought instability to Monrovia City. The whole city was on fire. It was a very deadly war, and that is the same day that Akaras Gray is saying he wants to protest. So in my mind, what are they trying to prove? What are they really trying to do? You know, they're claiming that they want to protest on April 6th. So I think that and the worst of all, the Yeke Koluba is joining in line with that. And the accusations is all about.
Hey, your man said why you can I become the demon of
Okay, let me take these two callers, please, if you don't mind, guys.
Yeah, go ahead, take your call.
Okay. The first one is 7242, last 4 digits, 7242 number. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
How you doing, Mr. Tour? This is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Elvis, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good,
What's on your mind, sir?
good evening to you. Yeah, good evening to you. Good evening to Mr. Sue and Terry. I was calling to just to chime in on this conversation. I don't know if Terry corrected himself because I couldn't hear him over the phone, but it was Charles Taylor and Yulima K. Alaji Kurban who joined forces
Okay,
to have the
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction.
Look, I will give you this. I know you're a Joseph Boyka supporter. And I think if he establishes the World Crime Court, I think automatically his presidency was a success. That would be a massive undertaking. It will show massive guts. And we've been criticizing him these few days for being weak and this and that, but I think if he establishes it will really be a bright spot for him and a bright spot for the country. Look, we that come from these ethnic groups who were very involved in the war, we're torn because we understand, like Mr. So said, our people, although, when you're part of a tribe, you can't, the doing of your kinsmen is not necessarily on you, but we also have to understand that our people committed atrocities and there was atrocities committed against them. And other people that was affected, the people from Lofa, the people from Nimba, people from, Grand Jida, most of the tribes in Liberia was affected. So like you were saying, this will bring reconciliation. Look, people who go through grief, there's stages that you have to pass through. And once you reach the end of it, when that weight is lifted off of you, you can finally let go. It's one of the most beautiful things you can ever experience. So I think us as a nation, we're still in that grieving process, and this will bring closure to that process, and we can finally exhale and take a deep, exhale, a deep breath, and then move forward with our country, and maybe that will lift that black cloud, for all that nation. So for me, I'm looking forward to see all of those guys, from the people from my place, the people from the other places, and the people from this place where we're living, all of those who were involved, to be brought to justice or to kind of really tell the story. And I can't wait for it. But for me, I'm still apprehensive. I don't know if it's really going to happen. But as we saw in the video, it seemed like the president is really open to the idea. The likes of Alan Wade, let us not forget, Alan Wade does not represent the United States government. Does not work for the United States government. So if this was the Secretary of State or the Undersecretary of State that was talking to our president, this will even be more serious. So let's wait and see if the United States government officially will send the ambassadors or the Secretary of State or whoever to really initiate this. If they do that, then it looks likely that it's going to happen. But I'm excited and hopefully it comes to fruition. But thank you for the show. We're all listening. This is such a good conversation.
Thank you. Let me go to the next caller here.
Now, when you're talking, you're making the liberals tell me to run tonight. You know why you don't talk.
I don't know anything about the war. Yeah, man, I'll call you. But let me go on. Let me go on to go ahead. Next caller. You're next in line.
We're in a mass choir, the Freeport of Monrovia, my man.
What's your name? What's your name? Where you're calling from?
This, you know, Teddy Carolina, my from
Oh my goodness.
All right, Teddy.
Well, I'm on your side. You know, I concord with you. I agree with your analysis. But Terry, you know, if you don't understand the years, you know, of our growth,
Terry just joined.
Yeah, the guy is addicted to Terry. The CDC and Unity Party been there. We really.
And the journey together in that single era. You go through it.
Mama, now you're fallible. I'm subject to make mistakes.
My man, go to the point. Leave Terry alone, man.
Thank you.
But with Liberians, you know, the liberal, you know, because of the liberal, I feel very good. And I listen to them, Liberians, one of the things I read to them, very careful. Because somebody put us into a little serious problem. There are wars around the world, in West, in the South region, around places like that. Liberia should be very careful. And she's not bothered with bringing all the diversionary tactics. He needs to be in peace. Where is our 20 million and other things with that? You need to be accounted for those things. Liberians, we should be careful with no prejudice. Instead, we should be more around. You can come in on the there. But the fact is that we should be personal that we will prejudice on this issue. And if the people wanted to solve that great problem, we will go on with a canonical poll, and we're going to follow that some more. Cross-legal people are the kids counting on one day time. And if we put blood like you know, within a building, like a walk on there. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere, they are talking about the challenge system, the regular peace conference, people that won't know, get to confuse our point and land it. And it's really clear for the own people. So we should be careful. We should be very, very careful, my brothers and sisters. We should be careful. We know we want it, but we're not yet going to put it up to politics with our people in the heart. And if the real work is done in this game, everyone is saying, right here, everyone is saying, that's what's serious about that. And if I bring anything saying, back into this, I will look out for it, the artist or that, but it will make sense. But we can't be too personal with friends or certain people.
Thank you. Let's take the next caller. Next caller, you're in line, 9958 number. Go ahead. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is Henry Brisbane. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Thank you for joining us,
right? I just wanted to add up to what is young man we just left. I want to tell the guy on your right hand side, at the far right hand side, the young boy. I think he missed a lot of the story. So he should give people a chance. Because for one fact, people that are sitting now in the country, it's because of Joseph Boakai. I mean, like, you know, Boakai John Doe, he created a lot of problems for us. When they pull that khaki uniform on him, they could read and write better. They were giving the piece of note to President Doe to eliminate our people. So if you don't know, the person who are holding responsible for everything in that country for now is President Weah. Because President Weah was supposed to settle the war court. He the only clean man. He was the only clean man. For now, I don't know. Because for potential. But now Boakai can bring nothing on the table for now. Let's just forget it. Everything he's saying over there. He created this, one of them created a mess with Eddie. And that's a point of correction. You know the late General Dumia that died? General Dumia.
Yeah.
Fought alone. Thank you. He fought alone. So these are the people. Stay.
He fought alone with who now? He connected to the half story.
You think we stupid?
Dumuya was one of the Ulimbokate fearless commander. He
know
was
everything
captured Lane Street
know.
around
And
the
then
cemetery there.
Liberia stay on that same time bomb because he wanted to win. All of them do the same thing. So when we hear the people causing law, you know, it's just, President, we are messed. A lot of things
But
are
let me
over.
ask you.
Let me ask
you. Let me ask you. Now, I don't know you. You don't know me. Do you know a little bit, or do you know anything at all about the war? As much as we hear.
Yeah.
So if you were to be,
I would just eat on top of it.
If you were to be asked to give your side of the story, you think you can do that?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I will give you, and I give you story on myself. I'll show you some bullet marks. When
oh my goodness. Okay. Okay.
But let the man talk now.
You remember the guy that
he got information. Maybe he's trying to educate.
Hold on 1 minute, sir. Terry, what did you say?
No, I said let him talk. Maybe he's saying something. You want to say something else?
Yeah. He's saying
Go
ahead.
Yeah, something.
Go ahead.
You remember the guy, the press secretary to do that they killed this Charles King guy. Remember King? I think you know King because you used to know King.
I've heard that name before. Charles King.
Were living together. The same black guy. Let me let you know today. The same black guy. Black guy was the boss of King there.
Wow. Okay.
Charles,
all right. Let's do
First
this.
Secretary.
LPR is not going to be the place for us to spill ourselves. But I really do appreciate it. We'll go. Yeah, we'll have this conversation again tomorrow.
He afraid of trouble. You see, so he won't be talking. He afraid of trouble. The old man, he let him talk.
You open a Pandora box.
The two BB now. So please,
oh my God! What a shame!
I'm quiet now, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm quiet now.
Thank you. All right. Yeah.
Don't make Papa roll in night tonight because they want to get him worried.
No, Mr. Tom.
Yeah. Go ahead. Hold on.
Mr. Tom, thank you for that.
Hold on 1 minute, sir. Let me merge the. But I beg you, you cannot give us some detail here. I beg you. You just
the Libera.
Go ahead.
Libera.
Mr. Tom, thank you for your You know, one good thing we like to listen to your show. He can make it to be very spicy. And you know the topic concerning the war conquering like that, very, very important. Maybe other people don't know it. The reason why when you made a statement that it would be good for the people that are becoming on their case, they war conquer the Mongolian interior, it would be good because most of the people that were affected in the water, majority of them are living in interior. I can remember 1997 when we went, I was working in Riverside, there's a town they call Samson from the Senator Bill Tuawe home. A young man living in a town with all they call him Abraham. And he was part of the polio team who was conducting the polio program. He was part of the polio team. Then the team from across Joe River area there, a mentor that was recruited on the team, all of them went. When time came for us to do the payment, when the young man entered the town, we saw Abraham and the young man bust up with crying. So we began to ask him what happened. He said when Abraham and his two went in their town, can you imagine left in the same session? Abraham asked his older brother for both of them to bring their load. While crossing the water, Abraham beheaded his older brother. He a person, and he get the hair to him to throw the hair and bring the hair to their headquarters. And the young man begin to cry. When we asked Abraham, he had nothing to say concerning it. So there are a lot of people that got hurt during the water, even including myself. So it is important, not only for people to play politics, we're here to say, oh, this and that happy or not be good. Okay. But to me, that the right for be done. Those who ever committed a crime.
Yeah. Okay.
That is how to better thing too. Thank you for the program.
Thank you. All right, let me go to Walter Carter. Go ahead. We got a lot of people online. Carter, go ahead. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Walter Carter, you need to call back. Jesus. Okay. Let me put these people on back online. Okay.
Been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Okay. So, guys, please call me back. Those of you that didn't have the opportunity, I tried to switch the other thing, and it just everybody went off. So, okay, let me put Carter. Well, Carter, thank you for. There's noise in the background. Can you just hold on 1 minute? Carter, there's noise in your background. Winter Carter, there's noise in your background. Winter Carter, there's noise in your background.
That's what I mean. Let me mute myself.
Okay. All right. Kisel, go ahead. That will be.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
So, Mr. To and Brother So and Brother Terry, you got hello to everybody.
Thank you.
So, I love the process, the Water Economic Transport Initiation, or let's say what they have started. The president, I remember when we told people that Allen were in like brother teachers of Waka, they told we were lying. And thank God the video came out. And so this process is gonna happen, but this is my thing. These are the same people that started our war. We have to be smart as African. Allen White and they're not going to Liberia to do war crime because they love Liberia. It's a way you guys will make the money. When you saw here in Jerome further and pushing all these things, they're gonna be sitting down as lawyers. You know how much they're gonna make? Because the process is gonna be heavily sponsored by the West.
Okay.
So they're gonna make a lot of money to prosecute people.
Okay.
My thing is that people should be careful how we proceed with this. It's a good thing, but I wanted to be careful.
Thank you.
Because after we should have done this, what next?
Okay.
What
that
next?
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my brother.
That's my own concern.
Thank you. Okay, the next color. Carter, you can just hang up. I don't want to hang up again. Then everything go blank. So, Winter Carter, you can hang up. Winter Carter, you can hang up. Okay, the next number in line will be NDOR BOR Nuba. Hello?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Tu.
Thank you.
And let me say good evening to you people. This is Kefeli Dodo calling from Texas.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, I just wanted to sit and watch the show as usual and listen, but sometimes some calls come on the show to make us to have the full to call in.
Right.
Jota Baka is not looking for second term. So if there is anybody who will make Liberia better and put Liberia on a good path, will be Jota Baka, except you don't want to do it. And I repeat, Jota Baka is not looking for second term. So no one will block you and say, when you do this to me second time, I'll not give you my vote. Because he's not even coming to you to argue for his vote for second term. So he's in a position to make Liberia better. If he gets support, the necessary support that are required out there when it comes to getting rid of corruption, when it comes to getting rid of all of the bad things that are done in Liberia, Joseph Baka is in the right position to do just that for us. Let's give him the support. One economic country, you and I will sit there every day, we cry. We then cry on this thing every day. People getting, since some of us were born from baby. We started hearing about the war of corruption. One president who came to power, he killed 13% for corruption. Amos Sawyer came, he changed the money because of corruption. When Taylor came to power, Taylor said no more of our own drug because of corruption. Every day from time immemorial, we keep hearing the one war corruption. Now we got someone who is trying to get rid of it, then we've got to be divided. That's something that we don't want to be divided. All we can ask for is that the right thing should be done. We want justice. The justice should not be impartial. Justice should be given to everybody, fully regardless of whoever you are. Your first caller who was on the line said to talk about super in the war. Granted, if you so far in the war and you got case to bring on him, don't you think this is the best time?
Okay.
Then bring it out.
Okay.
So that we can prosecute him too. Because the water economic conflict not just for one person. It's for everybody. Let's support it so that we can get it best and make Liberia a better country. Liberia is all that we have. Let's all not be divided on everything, even the good one for us. We want to be divided on it. I don't understand.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. And the number is there. Give us a call 916-533-2048. So, Terry, I think the callers are all in favor of this. Okay. Let me.
I'm sorry, I came back for the call.
Hello. Because the person been here before Henry. But let me say this here, Terry. Now, if this video is authentic, which seem to be, hold on, let me take this call. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Yes, I was just on just now, but that's something I just split my mind. I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Oh, the guy that we just spoke. Yeah, I just want him to know that Boaka get his kids, so he will not kind of boast here. And the same kid business made person we are here tired he left power.
So the guy's statement, the guy you're making reference to, he said if anybody have issues or have case, they can bring it against President Boaka. I think
and our people partying all right now, so you should know. I definitely accuse you, Boaka. I dare Boaka get 2 kids right now that finish corrupting. You think Boaka crazy?
No,
are we sleeping?
But you just said you just talking from one point of your mouth to the other. You not get no fixed information that you're giving us.
The thing they finish doing right now, he able to back there. Boaka will wrap the thing around. Boaka is very smart man. He will wrap the thing around. Don't forget about the people that are going over there. No people just go to see quiet down Prince Johnson because Prince Johnson talking plenty. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to respond to a couple of things. You know.
But let me go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead first. Then I will come in.
Okay. What I was going to suggest, now that the cat is out of the bag, and if this audio and the video, if they are authentic, then I think President Boaka needs to step ahead and do as usual, like he always does, which is to have a press conference, and inform Liberians his intent. And also not just inform Liberians of the intention of establishing war crime court, but just as he stated here, that will be the place for many Liberians to vindicate themselves, and for many Liberians to come on and explain themselves, so that this is not wish hunt, and that if he comes across explaining to the Liberian people, giving them the opportunity to know this before this thing starts spreading all over the place, without him making any comment, and allow Prince Johnson to take it on Sunday and not make it into a political talking point, then I think it won't boast well. But if President Boaka, before Prince Johnson comes on Sunday, if he can come out and make this declare whatever it is that his intention are, then I think if Prince Johnson comes on Sunday to try to incite or even bring in or turn it any other way, I think it will go a long way. So I will hope that President Boaka will have that conversation with the Liberian people. Go ahead.
Well, I think that's a good thing, but I won't be surprised that Ambassador Boaka do not respond, because the thing here is that we must understand that Ambassador Boaka have made a statement in his inaugural speech concerning the War and Economic Crimes Court. So whether or not Prince Johnson will come out and say what he normally say, that would not mean anything right now, because it's obvious that Prince Johnson will come out to say something. And one of the things is that President Boaka, he have to be careful to say anything right now, because he don't have his full cabinet on the bench. So they are not seated yet. He's not fully in control of the government yet. So whoever leaked this particular story out, I don't know what intent they have. But I think it could cause more harm than good. All right. And because I think it's too early to be releasing, these kind of information, sensitive information to the public. So whatsoever PR or whatsoever that is behind under the breach to do, I think Ambassador Boka have to address it in a
Perry, you
silent way.
can't say that. Yeah, I will push back on it. Because if you look at the video, it's not like this thing was being recorded secretly. I think, and even the meeting itself, if President Baka wanted this, you heard the question.
Yeah, it's genuine, but the problem is it was not officially released.
Yeah, but then why were you, if you want to have that kinds of meeting, it should have been done completely in closed door, behind.
Yes, that's what I'm
behind
saying.
Closed door. Listen now, behind closed door, closed door of a closed door of a closed door. This is not. You saw that many people sitting around. You think all of them going to be quiet? You think all of them have interest in this? No. So to have, that's what I'm saying, President Baka need to step ahead of it, because this was not intended to be secret. Because the security apparatus in Liberia, I'm sure they got places they can go if President Baka wanted to make this thing secret, where they can have the conversation. You don't think President Baka have conversation behind closed door with many people and we don't see it?
I agree, but what I'm saying is, Liberal, there are so much going on in the country right now that we do not know about. I get people that call me, some people say some things. What I'm telling you now is that you even hearing about people trying to protest April 6th, blah, blah, blah. They got other people traveling from America to go in the country. What I'm trying to tell you is Liberia is, the whole state is just in that kind of array, that kind of disarray right now.
They're not going to be successful.
And with all of what is going on, you have to be able to control, you have to be able to have grip before you can release those kind of videos. You don't just jump on and say, oh, you know why we're releasing it.
But that's why they call it leak.
Yeah.
But my point to you is
I understand you're trying to say that video that was leaked by people inside and they meant for it to be leaked. Yes. That's what you're trying to say? Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm trying to say that even if they meant for it to be leaked, it's not a good thing. Right now, it's not a good thing, because what it's doing for Ambassador Boka now, it is creating more damages than good. And right now you're saying that Ambassador Boka should come out and address it before Prince Johnson go on his podium on Sunday to say something. That alone is an apprehension. And you don't know the weight behind that apprehension that you already have.
I agree. And that's what I made a statement earlier. But the main thing will be, we're going to watch and see what kinds of conversation Prince Johnson have on Sunday. Because remember,
something I wanted to say, I wanted to address before, and this just cut in, that they were not able to correct before the callers came in concerning the war. All right, the April 6th war. Or I don't know how old I was. I think I was either 14 or 15 then. I was still a young guy, because during that April 6th war.
You're not young anymore.
I'm young, but not that young. I'm 45. So I'm not, yeah, I'm young, but I'm not that young, So what I'm saying is that at that time, I knew exactly what was going on, because we were in the war. And ECOMOG, I was there when ECOMOG broke the bridge, the Corwell twin track, but with the doodle ball. ECOMOG broke that. That was caught a child group from coming, because the boys were coming from behind the line. They were using our bridge to cross. So I say this to say that maybe I made a mistake on there, because Ulimo J is actually Roosevelt Johnson, and Ulimo K is used to be Alhaji Kroman, So there was a combined forces, and I think it was Black Beret also that was in our territory and working along with ECOMOG, and they were fighting. But that war was a very brutal war. And I was trying to make a point in regards to These guys that are saying that they want to protest on April 6th, why can't you choose any other day to protest? Why you want to choose April 6th?
If they do it on April 6th, their goal of destabilizing will not be successful because many Liberians are not on board. This is not like June 7 protest. Their protest right now, what will be the ground? The president, the government has just been seated a little bit less than 2 months. So what is it that the government have done that will cause you now to protest? Are you protesting because you got darkness in the country? How did it start? Who is the man in charge of electricity? Was that man employed by President Waka? So Terry, these people, that it's a way of creating panic, and they will not be successful. Let me welcome Mr. George. Mr. George, the few time we have with us here, good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's on your plate?
I said it the last time. And let me see. Look, someone sent me that video, but I'm not watching the whole thing. But I just want to say, I said it the last time. And Honorable Bwaka and Jeremiah on the campaign on war economic crime code.
Right.
They said it. And Prince Johnson has said before the court should come. So what is this thing about? If they didn't say during the campaign and he just popped, they see someone coming into the country and they say, oh, then do. But it was said all through the campaign and the people said voted for the people. That's why I said things will work out the way we want it to work out. It's just a matter of time. You say money talk, something else walk. So those who think that they will get away with anything, and I heard Samson told during his tapata, he don't want anybody to be punished, but people want to, no. We got something called precedents, deterrence. We have to set a precedent. We have to set a deterrent. So the next time some Joe can just go out and say, I'm going for a war, okay, people can get away with it. No. Because someone will say, hey, you know what happened? That is the deterrent and precedent want to set. So that's just my comment. But the minute, this CDC demonstration they're talking about, let it go ahead. For me, they want to stay in the street for 1 month, they can do it. Once they don't interfere with other people's rights, they can stay on the side while they want to stay there. They can stay there a whole month, they can do it. Because I just find it very stupid. Excuse me for the Sunday school word. The ink of these people defeat are not even dry. And you're coming down to protest for what? The government had not been sitting for 6 months. When June 7 took place, if you want to make the comparison, was it in 6 months? Was it in 1 year? No. But because the one, I continue the citizen, they will make the say irrelevant to this process by a certain time if they are not careful. And this is what will lead to then being irrelevant at a certain point in time. And I heard someone saying George will being time to lead a protest. Let him come and lead a protest. I hope he should come to lead a protest. I hear, I see men at Foucault then. When Foucault then starts being representative of the people to speak on the people's behalf, when Foucault, when he threatened Yekakola to beat Yekakola if Yekakola insult the president, former President George Weah. So these people, democracy is messy, and especially for us in Liberia, it's like people now just taking this thing, or the word my right, that it doesn't have limitation. There's no responsibility come with it. All those things come with responsibility. But our people now are loosely want to tell the Liberian that I have the right. Yeah, you have the right. But what are the issues you're raising? You say there's no electricity. Yes, we get it. There's no electricity. But how long this government have been in power? Is it 6 months, 1 year? No. If you could solve all the problem within 30 days, you had an opportunity of 6 years. Why didn't you solve it or half of it? Why? So you expect someone to come and wave the magic one that 1 month everything's solved. Nobody promised you that. I know they will accuse me of being supporter of William Kennedy, they will put a supporter of Joseph Boakai, but nobody will put nobody will support those kind of idea. Only people who are grieving yet over the defeat that people are Akaya grade, who cannot believe what happened to him in District 8 when he sat in that balcony and beat him mercifully. Because why? He did not do anything. He had not done anything in that district to change the life of the young people there. He has Tottenham High in his district, the biggest government high school. What did he do there? What money did he advocate? Did he fight for in the budget for Tottenham High to improve the learning process or system in Tottenham High? What did he do? Jida Gising. No, Jida Gising. Is it? Yeah, Jida Gising.
Yeah, Jida Gising.
What did he do there? Basket, what did he do there? Foucault, you got JFK in your district. How much money ever advocated for JFK to get? That's the teaching hospital, the largest hospital in Liberia. It was in Foucault district. What did he do to improve that hospital? So this thing, nobody is saying that we will not hold this government, we will hold them responsible. But we have to be honest in what we want to do. So let's see this come on. They talk about they want to hold Honorable Boakai to war crime code. He spoke about he ran on his campaign. It's not like George Weah who came and told us what I wanted development or war crime code. After he told us that he was going to do it, he can't ask what I want development or war crime code. He didn't bother with it. You had the issue of gas, the short rice. 6 years we had this problem. Yesterday you put money into subsidize rice. 6 years it went up, continue to go up. Gasoline went up on you people. So what is there that people are telling the Liberian people that you're dead differently? That today this government is not doing even in just the 1 month.
Right. Okay.
Your suddenly the country begin polluted with drugs, which I would say you're benefited from it. The CTC-led government benefited from it. Anybody can come, we can do that, we can have that argument. They benefited from it. The CTC-led government benefited from drugs and continue to destroy our brothers and sisters. Okay. I would say it.
All right.
And now
okay, Mr. George.
So I just want to leave it at that. It is
okay.
right, but I just
you will take us home. Let me hear Terry make his closing because we're about ready to close this, and then you can just take us. Terry, go ahead and give us your closing.
Yeah, so there was a guy that called on the show. I think that guy, he was just saying a whole lot of tabata because he talked about accusing Ambassador Boakai for being part of the war and all those kind of thing. And he's not giving a fixed explanation of anything. He just jumping from one place to another. You talk about he got bullet mark. You talk about how Ambassador Boakai children. I know he called twice on the show, but he's not really giving us a fixed information that we can look at. Maybe he has some, maybe he don't. But if you have information, send in your information. We'll look at it because, it's good that we are having this discussion about the war and economic crime code because this could be the initiation of the process, which will lead to something greater. Ambassador Boakai said that the international community, when we satisfy them, they will satisfy us. Like I said, those were subliminal messages because the American, they have one interest, and the policy is what they put before every government that come in. So maybe it is the time for Liberia to engage the war and economic crime court And I think if that it is, there is nothing will stop it. If that is what God wants, that is what will happen. Even Prince Johnson said will not be able to stop it. And but I think that with that information out there right now, I think Ambassador Boyka need to tighten his security, and I think that he needs to take hold of the government as usual. For the protests, that what Pat just said, I agree. Open the government up, let the people get on the street. What they want to do, let them do it. And even the international community will not give honor or credence to that, because this government have just taken over. You left the government in a lot of debt, stole plenty of money here, then you flood the payroll with a lot of people's names. And then you come in now to protest because you claim that the government ain't giving you current. There is no electricity when you know very well that in Liberia, when the water runs dry, no current can be there. You say Ambassador Boyka sneak out of the country. He didn't tell you. When prior to Ambassador Boyka leaving the country, your influence the AFL, to influence their wives to get on the street and block certain places in the country to create chaos. So if the man leave the country to go for security briefing, the president should tell you what he went to go do. The president will also breach all those things going on. Just after the man took over 1 month after, then you expect the president to stand up and be talking all over the place. But however, we don't expect anything greater. CDC is very strong and good in opposition. And the only thing I must say, Ambassador Boyka will be strong as well, because he already have most of his people on deck. And that is what it is. There was a strategy that CDC used to use during the time when they were in power. When opposition protesting, they will put people on the street to protest too. Who knows what United Party strategy could be? You understand? Why opposition protesting? Then they will come on the street too, they can't protest at the same time. So, they are very good in all these things. But one thing they must understand that we need to all agree to, that the country is divided. The CDC got a lot of people, as they see with the Unity Party, got a lot of people. So when you think that your one can put people on the street and be demonstrating, don't forget, Unity Party were the one who won the election, and they had 20,000 people over your number. So you must think again. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you're very serious tonight about CDC. Mr. George, we only have 2 more minutes. Can you go ahead and wrap it up 2 minutes?
Yeah, look, let me just say this thing here. I will just repeat what I said earlier. CDC is a right to demonstrate. They want to stay in the street 1 month, they can do it. Because these people are the people that they're leading. They have no sympathy for themselves. What did they get out of Jefferson Kuchi? What the president will do for them? Is the vocational school at the headquarters open? Look, if other people want to be user, then let them use them. That's it. If other people want to be a user, let the people continue to use it. Whatever people say, I'm not here to eat someone pepper. If they want to be a user, let them use them. Okay? Your fault for people stay within 6 years. They haven't done anything to do to change your life. And you people got a court organization. CDC is a court. You guys know so any political party where you got to go join to go waste something on you, this and that. That's a court method. And because they pray to one man, so they can go ahead. Let Joy we are getting in order, let her jump in the street. But I can say to them, your street, getting the street, you must live within the confinement of the law. The confinement of the law, just live within the code of the law. That's all. Get your permit. You can go to the police, they'll put the police in the street to guide you. That's all. But we cannot continue to condone this action of these people. We got to call them out for what it is. So CDC, you can go in the street, do everything you want to do. It's up to you people. Because what they're outlining, they want $20 million missing. How can you say you want $20 million missing? When Funanti Kofa, yes, your speaker, the other weekend came and said, no. I mean, the budget, this is what I think about it. He outlined that the $20 million, people in the hospital, they set up a committee to review it. Why can't you wait for the report? But they want to hijack the system. This is not 2015 or 2017. We are in 2024, so CDC can go ahead. And they issue that video. Let me go back to that video. I don't want.
We're not hearing you.
Oh,
no, we're
I
hearing
said
you,
you have
Pastor.
less than a
yeah.
minute, Mr.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to say he been on front of Baka for a very long time, so he knows him. And maybe he just going to pay according to the call. But let me just close on the Prince Johnson. I don't give a hang about Prince Johnson. Let me say this. I don't give a hang about Prince Johnson. He can go in that pulpit, that horse there.
I know you are coming there.
For me, he can send for the last guy from Saudi Arabia. He can send for the last white guy to the way. I don't care. I just don't care.
All right.
We will not allow these people to continue to intimidate us. This Sunday he will go there again and talk what he want to talk. We cannot accept those things. We have to face the people that the country have to move on. If you think you have the right to kill anybody, then of course you have the right to go and defend yourself and have a day in court. So Prince can every Sunday morning and talk what he want to talk.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Thank you very much, Terry.
This is high ball. This is high ball.
Thank you, Harbor. Again, folks, Samson told Labro Pablito, I want to thank all of you again tonight for staying with us. This subject matter will be discussed again tomorrow. I think it will be the main subject matter tomorrow. I want every one of us to participate. So those of you that have interest in it, we will open the line very early in the show. So as soon as we open, maybe a half an hour or so, we'll open the line so you guys can participate. What we will do here, once these things start picking up steam, we had lots of video here of the war. We will try to put those things together and have people's speeches about the war, those who were participating and what have you, because they were not. The one thing about the Liberian war, many people were not hiding themselves. They were going on VOA to make statement. They were going places to make statement and they were doing it live on video as well. And so there's tons of video documentary about the war on YouTube you can find. So, but many of them, if you follow the trend, they're always justification. Their justification always been they're defending their people. So those are the kinds of conversation we're going to be having. Well, but the one thing I want to say on this here as well, it's going to be messy, not in terms of violent or what have you, but the conversation is going to be messy. And we have to be prepared to make sure that we ready to hear some stuff. There will be some things that will be said about other people's relatives and what have you. And we have to be ready to listen to it. Not that you're going to take it as face value, but people will call names. And some of those names are very painful to some family members. So what would you have responsibility? They will come out and say it. And so we should be ready. We should be ready. And I think Unity Party and President Baka, if they truly want to do this, they should take time to prepare Liberians for the conversation. They should take time to actually desensitize Liberians on the subject matter so that Liberians will be ready to be receptive to the conversation, so that the conversation does not turn around and become a boomerang on the government itself. Even though the government ran on a campaign on the fact that they wanted to have a war crime court, and you will argue, as Mr. George correctly argued, and Mr. Terry and everyone else argue here, that the government, before coming to power, they ran on a war and economic crime court. And Liberian received that and they accepted it. And that's why they were elected. Now, I want them to go further than that. The information process, the information dissemination process is very crucial as to whether Liberian will be on board, first of all. Yes, in the initial stage, Liberian will say, yes, we're on board because they're still hurting. But once they start finding out the details of what is coming, or people might not be quite ready as you think they are. So the government must do all they can first to desensitize the Liberian people, because the most of the information, they're about death, family member dying, and how they die. Those things, those information will be brought up. They will be brought up. Are we ready to listen to those kinds of stuff? Are we ready to put ourselves through that again for the second time? Or we're going to say to those who are responsible, no, we don't want that kind of glory detail. Oh, no, we don't want this other detail. Just tell us. It's how we're going to do it. So I'm saying to the government, and many of us that are going to be discussing it, we must continue to desensitize Liberians to say, be ready. This is not going to be walking in the park. This is going to be a difficult conversation. Many of us Liberians, cannot stand before our own kids and talk about and have some sort of they call it sex education. You don't do that. That's something you don't even discuss ever. Many of us are still in the countryside. Those things are not discussed. How much more about discussing the death of someone else from a family member? Those are going to be very, very sensitive issues. And Liberians must be told, and they must be prepared so that they will be able to receive the information and only know that the information, yes, indeed, it is for the good of the country. I'll give you an example. There was a trial here 2 years or a year or so ago about a guy that was being accused in Europe. And they brought some Liberian from Liberia to testify. And the testimony was very gruesome testimony. Gruesome testimony. And this is the kinds of stuff you're going to be facing in Liberia. Are we ready? Because it's not going to be 1 week issue. You're talking months. Are we ready to have those kinds of hardcore conversation in a month time? So, my brothers and sisters, these are conversations that we should be prepared to prepare ourselves, first of all, to deal with. Are we prepared for people to stop showing video? Are we prepared for people to stop traumatizing us all over again? It's deeper. It's deeper than just President Baga saying we want to establish that. Establish that you are saying you want to try somebody, you want to put somebody in public, and that person going to have to defend themselves. And whatever means they have to defend themselves, they will do so. The voice of violence. So what's about the family members? What's about those of us that will not participate in the hearing or what have you? Are we prepared? Are we prepared? That's a question we need to ask. That's a question we need to ask. Perhaps, don't come to think about it, when President Weah said he was not quite prepared to do those things, maybe there was some other reason. But it must happen. It must happen. Because that's the only way we'll be able to clean our soul. What happened to us as Liberia was deadly. Not one village, a village of a village of a village in Liberia were all affected. And they have not gotten over yet. Those people that were affected, you move from here right now, go to Totown, and you guys sitting around to talk. And somebody who participates, young man, 30, 45 years or something like that. And you start talking about drinking power, and you start talking about the war days, what it did, how his friend got killed. You're like, is that conversation necessary? So I just want to put that out there as we about ready to say good night to all of you again. Thank you very much for staying with us. Like I said, we will make this conversation 2 days type conversation. We'll do it again tomorrow, and then we'll do it again on Thursday. I'm hoping that the president and Unity Party will stay ahead of this. If it is truly a leaked video, then I think the government need to stay ahead of it to say, yes, we did have a meeting, and there was this discussion. And this discussion is what we've been telling you guys during the campaign, and we're about ready to bring that into fruition. But at the same time, we will do what we can to make sure you get the information from us, not secondhand information, not information coming from the Samson to on Liberian public radio platform. Information from the executive mansion that you would trust. Not that information from me, you can't trust it, but I'm not the spokesperson for the government of the Republic of Liberia. So whatever that I say here, most of it speculation anyhow. So I think the government will do a good job by trying to educate and bring Liberians along with them. With that, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio, I want to thank all of you again and say thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We will say good night to all of you. Please, please, let's continue to pray for one another. God is real and God is great. Let's continue to pray for one another. With that, we'll say good night to all of you.
Le père, votre vignon. Cadeau! Baïmaoa! Ablenyoa! On soit tout le peu Ablenyoa. Moi, non, Kai. Faut de siate de Sébi. Zouzou!
I'll do this here. Mr. Goa, Imaya Goa, good evening to you. Teresa Arno, Jay Arno, good evening. Howard, Madam Howard, good evening to you as well. We say thank you guys for joining. My own brother, Mr. Kyra, thank you for joining us. Terry, of course, as usual, thank you.
Wow.